developer at AppFusions. Quick question. Who in the room's got web analytics installed on their wiki? Any more? So we've got a few. How many have got free analytics software? Paid? Anyone got paid software? Okay. No worries. I'm going to talk through the various different options that we've got for putting analytics on your wiki. There's a variety of different ones. There's the Confluence's own usage tracking plugin. There's Adaptivist statistical analytics plugin. My Google Analytics plugin for Confluence, and there's AppFusions' own Web Trends Analytics Connector plugin for Confluence. First of all, Confluence's own usage tracking plugin is for tracking content update events. So if you view or create, edit or delete a page, it can track that usage. It's disabled by default. There are known performance problems in large installations, so you do have to re-enable it if you want to use it. It's also not available in the clustered environment. And if you install it and get it enabled, you get some pretty pictures like this. So we've got some viewing and some editing, and it's fairly straightforward. It's not really an analytics as such. It does simple tracking and provides simple graphs, and obviously, and I said before, it's got some performance issues. So what else is there available? We have Adaptivist's statistical analysis plugin, and they say it's a cluster-ready, enterprise scalable, remotely accessible, statistically gathering analysis plugin. Bit of a mouthful. What it does is it stores user data in an external database and provides widgets to retrieve the data out of that database and display it within Confluence. And what we've got here is, this is a kind of a schema of the type of data that it stores. So every time you hit a page in Confluence, you have an event going on, it will track the event, be it a create or a delete or whatever, and it'll track the date, your username, the session, URLs, referrers, user agents, all that kind of thing. And what do you get out of it? You can get some graphs like this. Unfortunately, you can't really see that, I don't think. And also graphs about number of creates, edits and views. I'll talk about some pros and cons. It is free. There's no data bus shared with third parties, so if you've got issues about allowing third parties access, well, saving your data externally to an analytics provider, this is probably reasonable for you to have. It's also accessible behind the firewall, so again, some people have issues with connecting to external analytics products from behind the firewall, and reanalysis is possible. So if you take the data, once it's stored in the database, you can go back and retrieve it and reanalyze it to your heart's content. It's got some cons. It's free, it's unsupported. If you need help with it, it is unsupported, but I guess if you asked Adaptivist, there's plenty of people from Adaptivist here, ask them about support. The current version available is only available for Confluence up to 3.0.2. Again, I would ask Adaptivist about this. I know that they are actively developing this at the moment, so I would have a word with those guys. And there's no dedicated reporting platform for this. So what I mean by that is, if you consider something like Google Analytics or Web Trends, they store their data and then they have a dedicated reporting platform. This, as such, doesn't have that. You go in and get the data from using SQL or whatever needs out of that database that it's stored in. Next off we have Google Analytics plugin for Confluence, which I wrote. It's essentially, it embeds your Google Analytics reports within Confluence. So for a particular space, it shows reports for that space within that space, and there's 10 reports. There's dashboard, top content, depth of visit, and so on and so forth. I'll give you some screenshots here. So out of the box, it shows you a dashboard. You've got visits and page views, and visits, pages per visit, and bounce rates, and percentage new visits, and so on. It gives you a list of the top content, and you can click through down here. I don't know how many people can see the bottom of the screen down here, but it gives you a list of the top content for that particular space. Here we also have depth of visit, so you can see how many people, what percentage of people are viewing more than one page in your space. Got browser and OS, so you can see here it looks as if Internet Explorer and Windows are very popular, but you can see also there's people using Safari on iPads and iPods, and you can see the different browser versions, which will help you with your support of the platform. You also see screen resolutions here, so if you're putting great big pictures that are way off the screen here, it's a consideration that in this particular case here we've got, I think, 70% on quite a low resolution screen. Network, we can see what network locations they're from. So here we can see that there's some people coming from AppFusions.com, some people coming from Virgin Media, and we have cities, so we've got London, Caerphilly, Skegness, all those important places. And traffic sources, so you can see here that the majority of our traffic comes from plugins.atlassian.com and a bit from Alfresco and Atlassian.com. And finally we have search engine keywords in here. So this is the keywords that have got onto the site and into your particular space. We'll talk about some pros and cons. Google Analytics is free and it's hosted. It's simple to use. The plugin's free as well, and it's supported by AppFusions. On the con side, it's free. There's little or no support from Google. You can get support if you wish from Google approved sources. It's hosted, so there isn't any reanalysis possible. It's essentially you set it up on Google Analytics and you get the results that you've put in. There may be firewall issues. I do hear people that have difficulties with Google Analytics and firewalls. And also there's Google's privacy policy. You're not allowed to track individual users. You can do anonymous users, but you can't specifically track, for example, a person's username. If that's something that you want to do with this, there are kind of workarounds. So you can perhaps install, there's a plugin called View Tracker from Bitvoodoo. It's a handy little add-on. It's basically what you put it on all of your pages, and then when you click through from your Google Analytics reports, you can see who's visited that page. There are potentially it may suffer from the same performance issues as the Confluence user tracking plugin, and the other thing is you can't specify a time window, which you can do on the Google Analytics plugin. Here's a quick example of what it looks like. So it puts in this bit here. It says the page is viewed 22 times by 5 users, and then you click and expand it, and it gives you a list of the users and when they were last in. So that's that. Finally, we have the Web Trends Analytics connector for Confluence. So what this does is embeds Web Trends reports directly into Confluence. So the 1.0 version, we get Web Trends Analytics Overview reports for the entire site. We've got some nice zoomable timelines on there, and it's newly released by AppFusions. It's about a month old. Give you a screenshot of that. So this is similar to the Google Analytics plugin, but for Web Trends. So we have a nice zoomable timeline here. You can click on that and zoom in on there. We also have the visit summary, number of visits, average visits per day, international visits, visitors summary, people who visited more than once, and average visits per user, average visits per visitor. And you can see a bit more. Then we have a hit summary and a page view summary. So we talk about pros and cons for this. It's hosted or on site, so you can use Web Trends on demand. That's their external service, or you can install Web Trends on your site. You can also track by usernames, so it can put code in to track everything that your users are doing, and then look into showing Web Trends reports based on the users and get their engagement. Plugins supported by AppFusions. The analytics product is supported by Web Trends. There's a gentleman from Web Trends over in the corner there. If you could give us a wave, Adrian. Talk about the cons. It's not free, and with power comes complexity. It's a very, very powerful platform, Web Trends is, but it does require. It's not straightforward. You do need an understanding of how to use it. Have a quick roadmap of the connector. The next release will have space-specific reports and internal search tracking, and basically it'll have all the things that the Google Analytics plugin's got. We're also looking at adding this kind of thing, so you get a list of users and you can see their page creates and blog creates and page removals on a per space and on a per site basis. So it's going to be quite powerful. So we can build adoption, increase the engagement, and optimize our user experience. Quick bit about AppFusions. We're an integration company. We integrate a lot of different things with Atlassian products. So we've got Alfresco to Crowd Connector, Alfresco to Confluence. We do a Google Docs connector for Confluence and one for Jira as well. And we do some things with Zendesk. We've got a few clients here. We've got people such as Alfresco, Oracle, CBS, Netflix. And that's it really. Questions?